My neighbor used my driveway as his personal parking spot for 6 months, so I trapped his car there for 3 days. You know how everyone has that one neighbor from hell? Mine was named Brad, and he had no idea he'd become my mortal enemy. I'd been silently seething about Brad for exactly 6 months, while he'd been parking in my driveway and dismissing me with, "It's just for a sec," every single time. By the time June rolled around, I knew everything about him. His truck was a lifted F-150 with truck nuts. His weekend boat was named Brad's Toy, and I was already plotting his downfall every time I heard his diesel engine. It started in January with, "Just need to unload groceries real quick." But those quick unloads turned into 2-hour parking sessions while I had clients coming for meetings. I work from home, you see, and my driveway is clearly mine with the property line running right between our houses. No ambiguity whatsoever. By February, I caught him doing something even worse, telling the Amazon driver to leave his packages in my driveway because it was easier. When I confronted him about it, he just laughed and said, "Come on, we're neighbors." By March, I put up a private property no parking sign. Brad thought this was hilarious. "Don't be that neighbor," he said, still parking there whenever he felt like it. May was when I discovered Brad had been having his party guests park in my driveway without even asking. I came home to find 3 trucks blocking my own garage during his Memorial Day BBQ. When I asked him to have them move, he rolled his eyes. "They're just having a good time. You need to relax." The kicker? There was tons of street parking around the block. He just preferred mine because it saved him a 30-second walk to his front door. Each time I brought it up, his dismissals got more condescending. "It's not hurting anyone. Why are you being so uptight? I thought we were cool." He knew I was too non-confrontational to tow him. He was the type who'd park in a handicap spot if it saved him 30 seconds of walking. So my driveway was just another convenience he felt entitled to. Thursday evening, everything changed. My mom was visiting for her 78th birthday. First time I'd seen her in months, and Brad's massive truck sat in my driveway like it owned the place. Mom had to park on the street, navigating the uneven pavement in her dress shoes, and I watched from my window as she caught her heel and went down hard. I ran outside heart pounding and found her sitting on the curb, shaken and holding her wrist. After helping her inside and making sure nothing was broken, I stormed over to Brad's house. He answered the door with a beer in hand, party noise behind him. I told him my mother had fallen because she couldn't park in my driveway. His response? "She didn't scratch my truck on her way down, right?" He actually looked past me to check on his truck, didn't apologize, just shrugged when I stared at him in disbelief. That's when I snapped. As I walked back to check on my mom, I remembered I was leaving for a 3-day weekend trip to Vegas tomorrow, and my bags were already packed. I knew Brad's routine like clockwork. That F-150 only moved on weekends when he took his boat out, and I'd heard him bragging about some big fishing tournament this Saturday with a $500 entry fee and a whole group going. I also knew my driveway's layout perfectly. Narrow entrance with concrete pillars on both sides meant if someone parked behind you, you were trapped until they moved. Friday afternoon, I waited with my bags by the door and my Uber scheduled for 4 p.m. I knew Brad would come home around 3:30 and park in my driveway just for a sec while he grabbed his fishing gear, just like he always did. The plan was beautifully simple. Let his entitlement be his downfall. If my driveway was so important to him, he could have it all to himself for the entire weekend. 3:30 p.m. Brad's truck rumbled up the street right on schedule and whipped into my driveway without hesitation. By 3:35, I was walking out casually with my keys, pulling my car directly behind his truck until the fit was perfect and he couldn't move an inch. 5 minutes later, I locked my car, grabbed my weekend bags, and climbed into my Uber. The first call came at 5:47 p.m. while I was going through airport security, but I didn't answer. By 6:15, the text started, "Dude, WTF, move your car now." Then at 6:32, "This isn't funny." At 8:20, "I'm calling a tow truck." The 9:45 p.m. texts were where things got interesting. Apparently, the tow company had refused to touch my car since it was parked in my own driveway and told him to call the cops if he had a problem. By 10:15, Brad had realized the beautiful catch-22. He couldn't call the police without admitting he was trespassing on my property. Saturday morning brought 12 missed calls and increasingly unhinged voicemails about his missed tournament, his friends waiting at the dock, the money he was losing. Sunday's messages escalated to threats to sue, demands I pay for his missed boat rental, and promises to make my life hell. I didn't respond to a single one, just like he'd never responded to my reasonable requests for 6 months. Sunday night, I returned to find Brad's truck still trapped, and when I casually moved my car, he screamed about his missed tournament while I just shrugged. It was just for a weekend. Now he circles the block rather than use my empty driveway, carrying groceries 3 houses down in the rain instead of parking in my spot for even a second. Guess he finally learned the difference between neighbors and doormats.